Hello, hello, Mrs. Lohoff here. Lesson 3.6, Addition of Fractions, Part F. In this lesson, we're going to add three fractions together, all with different denominators or different bottom numbers. Same process applies. We have to find that number that they have in common, create equivalent fractions, and then we can add. Let's take a look. Of course, it's not going to let me. Why would it let me? See if it will switch this way. Come on. There we go. Ooh, let's get my camera out of the way. We have three fractions, 3/5, 2/3, and 4/9. We need to add them together, but our denominators are all different. Never fear. Least common multiple to the rescue. Same process. We're going to write out the multiples of 5, write out the multiples of 3, and write out the multiples of 9 until we find a similar multiple. So 5 times 1 is 5. 10, it's just counting by fives, right? 15, 20. Ooh, that's a bad 20. 25, 30, 35. Let's go to 50. 40, 45. Just we have a lot of numbers because we are dealing with 9. All right. Let's do threes. 3 times 1 is 3. 6, 9, 12, 15. Ooh, we have 15s in common. Well, let's do 9s. Oh, wait a minute. 9 times 2 is already 18. Well, this would be 18, but we don't have 18 in the 5s. Keep going. Let's do our 9s out. 9, 18, 27. That's a 7. There we go. 36, 45. Oh, 5 has 45. Can we have a multiple of 3 get us to 45? 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 27. Oh, that's a 7. 30, 33, 36. I just keep adding 3 more because that's what multiplying by 3 is. 39, 42, and 45. Oh my gosh, we finally found a number that all three of them have in common, and it's the smallest number they have in common. It is 45. That is the hardest part to the whole process, is finding the number that they have in common. All right, now that we know it's 45, we're going to change each fraction to an equivalent fraction, an equal fraction where the bottom number or the denominator is 45. We can do that. Let's erase all of this. Don't need all that extra stuff looking at us. All right. 3/5, we're going to make it into a fraction where the denominator is 45. Same with 2/3. And same with 4/9. I like to set it up this way first because then I know that my denominators are always going to be 45. All right, let's start at the top. 5 times what equals 45? 5 times 9. For this fraction, we need to do the same thing to the top so that it's equal. 3 times 9, 27. All right, next fraction. 3 times what is 45? Well, what was it? I think it's 3 times 15. Let's just double check. 3 times 15. Yep. So we multiplied 3 times 15 to get 45. So I have to do the same to the top. 2 times 15 is 30. All right, let me erase this little scratch fact I did here so it's not confusing anybody anymore. 9, now we're going to do the last fraction. 9 times a number equals 45. Well, that's 9 times 5. So we have to multiply the top by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. All right, we're going to add all these together. I don't have room on the bottom to do it, so I'm going to put my answer over here. The answer is going to equal a denominator of 45. 27 plus 30 plus 20 all over 45. Well, 20 plus 30 is 50, plus 27 more is 77 45ths. That is called an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the bottom number, and that means we have some whole units involved here. So 77 45ths, I can create one whole group of 45 45s, and I would have some left over. I would have 32 pieces left over out of 45. Now we've turned this improper fraction into a mixed number. Remember how I do this is I think of a bar with 44 pieces in it. I'm sorry, 45 pieces in it. And I have one whole bar like this, and the other pan, I only need 32 to get my total of 77. So this is one whole plus 32 out of 45 pieces. 132 45th. I don't think this can be reduced. I don't think that can be reduced. This is going to be the final answer. If somebody figures that that can be reduced to simplest forms, let me know. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it can't. They don't have anything in common. They don't have 2, they don't have 3, they don't have 5, they don't have 7. Nope, I think that's it. All right, let's try another one. This time we're going to add 5/6 plus 2/3 plus 3/5. Our denominators are all different. We can't add them this way. We need them to have the same denominator, which means we have to put the multiples of 6, the multiples of 3, and the multiples of 5 until we find a number they have in common. And maybe you can do that in your head. That's great. I'm going to write it out. 6 times 1 is 6. 12, 18. This comes straight off of a multiplication chart. 24, 30, 36, 42. I'm going to stop there. See if we can find a common one. 3. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 6. Oh, they have 6 in common, but 5 doesn't have 6 in common. Oh, 9. 12. Oh, 12. But 5 won't have 12. Oh, 15. 5 is going to have 15, but 6 doesn't. Oh my gosh. 18. 18 is common with 6, but it won't be with 5 because I know 5's got to be 5, 10, 15, 20. 18. 3 more from 18 is 21. That's an ugly 2. There we go. 3 more is 24. 27. 30. Hey, 6 has 30. And I know 5 is going to also. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hey, we have a number in common, and it is the first number. It is the least common multiple, and that is 30. And it's going to give us our least common denominator. 30. Okay, so now we're going to change each fraction to an equivalent or same valued fraction with 30 as the bottom number or the denominator, and then we can add these together. All right, we can do that. 30, remember 30. 30, 30, 30. 30, 30, 30. 30, 30, 30, 30. All right, 30. Oh, really? Come on, Mrs. Lohoff. There we go. 30. I'm thinking about buying a different way to write this stuff out because numbers are kind of wonky in Canva. Okay. To get from 6 to 30, we multiplied 6 times 5. Whatever you do to the bottom part of a fraction, you have to do the same to the top to keep it equal. 5 times 5 is 25. 5/6 is the same as 25/30. Next, to get from 3 to 30, we multiplied by 10. Whatever you do to one part of the fraction, you have to do the other part the same to keep it equal. 2 times 10 is 20. And if you use your powers of 10, 2/3 is the same as 20/30. It makes sense. Last one. To get from 5 to 30, we multiplied 5 times 6. So we're also going to multiply 3 times 6 to keep things equal. 3 times 6 is 18. Now we have our numbers. So I'm going to write out here, the denominator is going to be 30, and we're going to add these numbers in the numerator or the top. 25 plus 20 plus 18. Well, 25 plus 20 is 45. 45 plus 18 is 63. 63/30. We have an improper fraction here, but before I do that, I am looking at it and I can see I can make this an equivalent fraction that is smaller or in simpler form because I see all these numbers are divisible by 3. 63 is divisible by 3 and so is 30. So I'm going to divide by 3. Whatever you do to one part, you have to do to the same part to the other part of your fraction. So 63 divided by 3 is 21, and 30 divided by 3 is 10. So 63/30 is the same as 21/10. Now, I can deal with 21/10 a whole lot easier. 21/10 is the same as 2 whole groups, because that would get me to 20, and 1/10. Again, if I had a pan of bars, there would be 10 pieces in here because each pan is cut into 10. I would have another pan of 10 bars to get me to 20. And the third pan of 10 bars, I'd only need 1/10. This represents 21/10, which is the same as 2 and 1/10. 2 and 1/10 is the final answer. Yay! Okay, again, the hardest part with adding fractions is coming up with that least common multiple, which then becomes the least common denominator because it's the bottom number. Remember, if you have questions for me, you need extra help. Oh, I'm going to skip that one for our sessions. Come to the 1 o'clock session. Email me, give me a call. I'm here to help you. All right, bye.